Yo, what's up, world? And by world, I mean you single person who just clicked this video. My name is Tyler. I'm watching a great game today between Daut, playing as Mongols here in blue, and Lojza, playing as Britons in green. Sorry for mispronouncing that. I'm sure I'm not doing a great job of it. I've started this game off in the Dark Age. We're seeing Daut doing some sheep scouting. We're also seeing his scout heading very far forward. Right after finding his first 4 sheep, he's come forward, and it looks like he's going to pull off some shenanigans. So let's hang in for that and see what he decides to do. As we can see, he's going for the boar steal. Gets 2 hits on the boar, and he's going to run back in a zigzag fashion. So a little boar steal for Daut early on, 640 extra food that he's going to have, and 640 food he's going to take away from Lojza. The big thing that I like about this particular steal, and the reason I wanted to watch it at regular speed, as we can see, Daut is going back a different direction than he came to get the boar. And he's revealing a lot of map here that he wouldn't otherwise have revealed. He's going to find his own boar. He's going to find his deer patch, which is very important since he's Mongols. And he's going to just clear up the fog of war in general while doing a perfect boar steal. He's not going to take any more hits on that scout, and that's a very long distance for that boar to run. He's not going too far from the boar, so it doesn't lose interest. And in the end, he's going to drop it very beautifully under this TC. And let's just have a look at how he does that. So bringing his scout over here, the boar decides to take that path around the villagers, and it ends up dropping very beautifully under the TC. So really a perfect start for Daut with the boar steal, only losing 11 HP on his scout, and he's going to have a major advantage over Lojza as he moves forward. As far as maps, we can see that Daut has berries off to the side, 2 gold piles here, a deer patch here, which is nice since he's Mongols, and actually the ability to maybe wall this area off and protect it. The stone is off here in the back. He could protect that with a wall here potentially, and the front actually has some structure that he could wall as well. So it looks like Daut has a lot of structure to work with if he decides to wall, and his resources are in a really nice place. He's going to put a mill up on the front and take these deer, which is very intelligent since Mongols have a buff for collecting meat from wild game. Lojza, on the other hand, as Britons, also has a pretty good map, not quite as good. He's got his stone and his gold here in an area that he could protect, maybe a wall toward his TC. The only problem here is that the distance between the tree line and those resources is not perfect. Once he starts eating through these trees, archers could really harass that wood line, and they can definitely harass the stone over those trees. He's also got stone off to this side, 2 gold piles relatively close to his TC, but on the front, and a decent map overall for Lojza, who is here trying to steal Daut's boar. So he's trying to get Daut back, steal back the 340 food that he lost. The problem is Daut's scout is here doing some harassment and doing some boar blocking, and Lojza needs to send these villagers out and get that boar before it loses interest, but he doesn't quite do it. So, and to add insult to injury, Daut is going to take Lojza's scout out without taking too many damage in the process. So Daut now with a huge advantage. He's taken Lojza's scout out. His scout is still on the map, revealing and learning, while Lojza is going to have to settle for what he knows about the map, which is that his resources are not in great spots, and he doesn't really know anything about Daut's side of the map now. So Daut with a huge advantage, not only in food, but in map coverage, and we'll see if he can take that forward into the feudal age. You can see he's clicked up. He was up at 721. Lojza is still trying to gather enough food to get up, which is not uncommon. When you have 1 less boar, it's going to take you a little bit more time. We can also see that his sheep are fully eaten up, whereas Daut still has a couple of sheep to process on his way up to the feudal age. So Daut with a huge advantage in the early game. Not uncommon to see him play a flawless early game. He's a veteran player. He's so good. And we'll just see if Lojza can work his way back. So Lojza dedicating 11 villagers, 9 villagers to wood, a couple to gold, as Britons will expect him to go with archers. This berries on the front looks awfully vulnerable. 5 villagers over there. Daut is actually going to start coming forward now. He's about to hit feudal. He's going to send these 4 villagers forward who are at the mill, as they are no longer needed here. Those deer are eaten up, and he'll probably move over to this deer patch at some point pretty soon. Daut now in the feudal age. He's going to have an advantage on Lojza, of course, possibly putting down, well, we would presume probably a stable and a couple of scouts, and we will see that stable coming up here. So Daut with the stable, going to put some pressure on, and these villagers are actually coming even further forward to potentially build a tower or build some more pressure on Lojza. So Daut with the lead and with the aggression. Lojza's going to start walling off here and here to try to block his TC. Smart move, and we'll see how he responds to Daut's scouts. So let's move over to Daut's point of view. He's got 1 scout in the stable, this 1 scout on the field, queuing a second, a third, and a fourth, rather. So he's going to have at least 4 scouts coming forward. He's got a pretty normal economy back at home. Looks like 10 or 11 on wood. He's going here to maybe start collecting some stone. He does not have any villagers on gold at the moment, which is not uncommon. Potentially that stone going to be used for a tower rush. These 4 villagers up front are going to drop a tower on that wood line, which is a very nice location. That tower won't be able to reach this gold, but it will be able to put pressure on this entire pocket area of Lojza. Lojza actually serendipitously putting up an outpost just in time to see that tower and move his villagers away. And Daut, very serendipitously, will finish that tower and notice a deer patch right beside where he dropped his tower. That's perfect for him as a Mongols player. These 4 forward villagers can go over and start milling these deer, which they will very soon. Okay, so Daut with a huge advantage. Offensively coming forward, he's got 5 scouts and 1 on the field, so he's going to have 6 scouts total. Lojza going double archery range, which is not uncommon for the Britons, but overall Daut with a major advantage. 250 point score lead for Daut at the moment. He is milling up those deer, and he's going to collect that meat very quickly. He's going to come forward here with his 6 scouts, and we're going to see if he can pick off a villager or 2. First things first, he's got to take out that spearman. He does that pretty easily, losing a couple of HP on one of his scouts. He does chase those villagers off of the berries, but he's not going to get any hits in on them at the moment. This poor guy is caught out. He decided to come around to this side to chop lumber. Lojza has noticed him in time, and it looks like he's going to get him back within the walls. So Daut with a major military advantage, but not able to get a villager yet. He was able to push Lojza off this wood line and basically gain 100 wood from Lojza losing that camp. Lojza here is going to have 6, 7 archers, 8 archers out on the field to defend these scouts, and we'll see what he can do moving forward. He is still expanding a little bit, but really trapped within this very small area. Daut, on the other hand, is starting to build up a possible wall across here, which would be great to protect his backyard. He does come in with those scouts. He is going to grab a villager, but not 2. None of those scouts going down. None of those scouts dying in that little raid. So Daut able to grab a villager. We can see that he's got a 1 villager lead at the moment due to that villager kill. Lojza is not going to hang around with his archers and defend, though. He is going to go forward and be offensive himself. He wants to get that villager back to make things equal. This looks like a set of 7 or 8 to me. 7 archers coming forward. At the moment, no upgrades on those archers. We will see that as we go, of course, as a Britons player. And those archers are going to come just in time to pick this poor stranded villager off, and also potentially make Daut housed for a moment. We'll see if that happens. No, that won't. He's got 18 population left. So Daut's not going to be housed, but he is going to lose a villager. He does have skirmishers out in time to defend this, but look at Lojza's micro here. As he walks up this hill, he's going to get 1, 2 scouts, 3 scouts. It looks like he might get a 4th. And he gets a 5th. Does he get a 5th? He gets 5 scouts without losing an archer. So he's effectively neutered Daut's entire army and taken back the villager advantage. So a really huge forward offense from Lojza. Not losing an archer and really making it so he cannot be raided in the feudal age. You know, these skirmishers are going to be good in defense, but Daut no longer has an army to play offense with. So Lojza is going to be totally safe back here unless we see another tower, which at the moment we will not. We're going to see a lumber camp. Daut could try to creep another tower in a little closer here if he wanted, but it might not be the most effective use of stone. And at the moment he's got 2 still on stone. He may be saving that up for a castle in the later game. Right now he's on 335 stone. We can see Lojza is going to come forward again. He's using some of those same archers from that first group. A couple of those are on low HP, but those will be coming forward in a decent group here. This looks like 5, 10, 13 to me. I could be wrong. So a pretty formidable group, and maybe he can come in and get another villager and increase his advantage on the villager count. Lojza is still about 100 points behind in the score. Which makes sense because of Daut's forward aggression. This tower is going to give him some points. Also, that all the deer that he's milled with his gathering advantage on wild game will give him a little bit of a score lead. Lojza here coming in, he's going to notice Daut's skirmishers that are all there and waiting. He's also going to notice this last scout on a couple of HP. He is going to pick that off, which will give him an advantage as far as Daut not being able to see the map. But he will be chased off by those skirmishers. He'll lose an archer in the process, actually stopping for just a second, which is not ideal. He'll lose another archer, and it looks like these skirmishers are really going to chase those archers across the map. As far as upgrades go, those archers are +1, skirmishers are +1 as well. So similar groups right now. Daut playing defense, similar villager count. Actually, Lojza has gotten up by a couple of villagers in the meantime. Not sure how he did that, since Daut hasn't lost any more than that one, but Lojza on a small villager advantage at the moment. Actually looks like 4 villagers based on this dashboard. Daut with a much larger army, but it's not going to be terribly effective if he's smashing those archers up against skirmishers like he is here. Looks like he might lose another now. He will lose one there as well. So really, Daut effectively pushing Lojza back. Interestingly, those guys both click up at exactly the same second. 21 minutes and 1 second. The perfect mirror of one another in this game. So Daut's going to push these archers across the map. Lojza's going to see if he can sneak these archers in the back door and see if he can maybe pick a couple of villagers off and increase his advantage. That's right, Lojza is now in the score lead. He's got more villagers working. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. The only way I can think is that Daut did not have his TC building villagers at every moment that he could. I didn't see any villagers go down except for 1 for each player. So they should be dead even, but they are not. Both guys obviously with loom, so that's not going to make the difference. Potentially Lojza delayed handcart. I did not see that. And that's the only way I can think of that he would get a villager advantage. Lojza coming in here with these archers. He is going to take a lot of pressure here from these skirms. They're going to pick off another few archers out of this group. He does get a little bit of view of Daut's map. He can see that his main gold is on the back. His main stone is here. He can see that Daut isn't taking stone at the moment, but look at those archers going down. Really not a very worthwhile venture for him. He's going to lose almost all of those, all but 5 of those archers. So he loses about 5 or 6. He does get some intelligence as to what's going on the map, and he's really going to be chased back by the last couple of skirmishers from Daut. Daut very wisely not sending the entire group of skirmishers all the way out. He's going to leave those behind, so when the next group comes from Lojza, he can defend it. So really a great game so far by Daut. There is a villager discrepancy. It's possible that he did have his TC idle for some time, but outside of that, he's really done a great job in defending these archers coming forward from Lojza, and he's done a really good job of getting a wall off across the front here, getting a couple of TCs down, and he's going to be able to really boom out if he can, by himself, maybe 5 minutes of game time. His economy is going to be beautiful. Lojza, on the other hand, is on 1 TC at the moment. And it looks like he's going to stick with that until... Oh, we have a second TC coming up. But he isn't going to go 3 TCs right away. He is going to invest that money in his archers, in his army. And he's going to use those, a small group on one side to try to get Daut's attention and throw another group through the other side of Daut's base. We can see here that he is really coming in the front door now since this side is walled off. Daut's ready for him. These skirmishers are vastly outnumbered, but they are going to be reinforced by these skirmishers as well. And it looks like Lojza stands to lose a lot of archers if he wants to take that fight straight up with elite skirms. So he's going to be backing off. He's going to lose a few archers in the process. Daut has a university down. It does look like he has ballistics. You can see that those javelins are hitting their target. Lojza is going to come forward here with a mangonel. Very smart move to push back those big groups of skirms. Those skirms aren't really bunched up, but this mangonel will do its job and push them away. And we'll see what Lojza decides to do, if he's going to continue to put pressure on with that mangonel, or if he's going to rest a little bit. University coming down for Lojza, still on 2 TCs. Daut's villagers still over here, chopping away. And we can see Lojza putting pressure on that forward archery range from Daut, and that's a very good spot to put pressure. Daut does have 1 archery range at the moment. You can see if we look around his map, that's all he's really got for military buildings, is this 1 range and this 1 barracks. He's trying to boom out. If Lojza were to take those down, he would have a really major advantage. It looks like he's lost interest for the moment. He's going to come after these skirms and maybe try to put some pressure on this TC. But I did like the aggression against these military buildings. It's not always a waste of time to take those down. Make Daut invest villager time and more wood into building those. Would be my recommendation, but hey, I'm just a guy. He's Lojza. He's much better than me. He is going to come forward. He's noticed that this wood line has been basically cleared off by Daut. Daut's moved those. He's moved those lumberjacks away. He can see this TC, I would assume. Yep, he can see that TC now. He knows that Daut is at least on 2 TCs. He does not know about the third, but he probably surmises it based on the farms and the gold there. And here comes the knights to try to clean up this aggression. Lojza did a good job here overall. He did push Daut off of these farms, and these farms for a short time. He's not going to get a terrible amount for his investment here, but at least he's keeping the pressure on Daut, and he's slowing his economy down at least a little bit. And he is making Daut invest in knights to defend this. He's making him invest time and energy into fighting it off. So he's doing a decent job at that. He's doing a decent job at that. Excuse my cough. Sorry about that. We do have another small group from Lojza coming in the back door, and they're going to be here just in time to maybe pick off a villager or 2 who are putting up this TC. You don't always need the biggest army to be effective, and in this case, Daut's 4th TC will be denied at least for a few minutes. That 1 villager going down. Lojza is actually shooting this TC at the moment in hopes of breaking it so that it will cost Daut all of those resources. He's not going to have enough time to do that, and it does look like his archers are going to be cleaned up here by these skirms and this knight. But Lojza is back at it on the other side, doing a very nice job of really distracting Daut, taking another villager out on this side. Getting Daut's attention to one side of the base and coming in the other side has been a really effective tactic for Lojza so far. Picking off a skirm there, maybe grabbing another. He is now +2 on those, so is Daut. Getting another villager is Lojza there, possibly taking out this small group of skirms and maybe just camping this middle area of Daut's base for a moment. You know, these farms are now effectively useless. The villagers are in the TCs. This farm is useless. This gold mine is now useless. And although Lojza is not picking off villagers very actively, he is really causing problems in the center for Daut. We'll expect a mangonel soon since this big group of archers is here. Here that mangonel comes, and we'll see what it can do. Ideally, Daut wants to maybe distract Lojza a little bit with this knight and these skirms and get that mangonel in. The problem is that Lojza can see that mangonel, and he's not going to allow it to get within range of getting a shot on him. He is going to lose quite a few archers there. But in the end, I think that army was very effective. It picked off a few villagers, and it really slowed Daut's economy for about a full minute of game time, which is not insignificant when, two players are this high of level. Just a minor delay like that can really be the difference. Lojza, not surprisingly to us anymore, is going to come in now on this side. He's just clicked up to the Imperial Age. And, he's just been alternating with coming through this side and coming back through this side. So it's obviously time for his archers to try to sneak in the back door. We can see Daut sees that. He's throwing his villagers into this TC. Lojza is going to take the long way around, and we'll see what his aggression looks like in a moment. Lojza is now on 3 TCs. He's expanding to more archery ranges. Daut's tower is still up. His 4 villagers are still here chopping away unharassed. Daut is currently chasing Lojza's archers away, and Lojza kind of hanging around in a little bit of a defensive fashion near his own base of operations. He's now on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archery ranges. His archers have +1 armor, +2 damage, +2 range at the moment. They do have +3 range since he is Britons, and they will get an extra +1 range when he hits Imperial Age. So we can see Lojza really being the aggressor here. Does not have the score lead, does not have the villager lead, but does have more of an army than Daut, and he's keeping the pressure on. And he's going to hit Imperial much sooner than Daut is, so we'll see if he can make a difference. Daut is here on 4 TCs at the moment. They are pumping out at full speed. He's got a really protected wood line, this great area that we talked about before the game that is so well protected by this wall, really making it so that these 2 TCs are not getting any harassment whatsoever, and he's just really booming up. He also has this TC here that's directly on this stone, so he's got safe gold, safe stone, safe wood line, and safe farms. So Daut looks really well set for a big boom coming soon. Lojza, we can see, is coming forward here with a big group. He's just hit Imperial. No doubt he's clicking up to Art of Bless. There it is. And he's still got a small group on the backside waiting to harass Daut. The problem is that he's going to hit a pretty large group of skirmishers here, which is going to really push him back. Now that he does have a major range advantage, which is at the moment +4, but will soon be +5 with Bracer. 5 + 5 versus 5 + 2. He's going to have a 3 range advantage. Those skirmishers become a lot less scary when you have a huge range advantage. And look at him here picking off this mangonel from a mile away. Daut with the castle up here on the front. That's going to stop Lojza from castle dropping Daut. He is going to drop a castle here to take this gold away and to block off this exit from Daut's base. Lojza here just doing some long-range harassment. Now that he's got that amazing range that the Britons have, he's going to do a bit more of a camp-out strategy, hang out in Daut's base, harass everything from afar, and see if he can be a major annoyance. This castle looks like it's going to go up without too much harassment, and he should be able to get some pressure on the front of Daut's base. Daut has clicked up to Imperial. His economy is starting to boom. His score is behind because of the army difference, but you can see that the villagers right now for Daut, he's got a 16 villager advantage, which is not insignificant. That's a pretty large group, and when he gets to Imperial, he should be able to start pumping out some army. Daut coming up here with the castle as well. That seems like a wise choice since he's getting pressure on that side from over and over from Lojza sneaking in archers. Lojza taking a couple of hits from that TC, but really shutting this whole area down. You can see that there's no farming going on really this entire part of the map. That villager is now dead. So Lojza really idling a lot of Daut's villagers here by really just camping out in the middle of his base. And we can see that the idle vills for Daut are 14. That's a pretty large number. You know, Lojza not doing a great job himself with 20 idols, but I'm sure some of those are, no, they're not just finishing building this castle. I'm not sure where those idols are coming from for Lojza. 31 idle villagers at the moment. But nonetheless, he's got the advantage. He's in Daut's base. He's doing some harassment. Daut with just a few archery ranges to build skirmishers from, and he's taking a lot of villager losses and a lot of skirmisher losses since he has the disadvantage in range. And we'll see Daut here. Lojza here is going to put up a couple of catapults, a couple of trebs, and it looks like he's going to start putting pressure on the front of Daut's base. Meanwhile, this big group of Artabless in the middle is still hanging out, really unharassed at the moment. It looks like Daut is going to mass up some skirmishers before releasing them from these two ranges and hopefully cleaning this area up. The problem is that he's lost a good 6 or 8 villagers in this area, and he's lost a lot of time on his farms. Lojza is still putting pressure on this castle, now with 2 trebs, about to be 3 or 4 trebs, and those are going to take this down eventually. Daut repairing, but he's going to run out of stone soon. Well, he's going to run out of stone at some point since he's not mining any at the moment. Just 209 left. Lojza still putting pressure on this side, being an annoyance to Daut. Daut finally popping those skirmishers out. He's got a big enough group here that he doesn't have to worry too much, and we can see that he's really pushing Lojza back with those, and he's finally reclaimed the center of his economy, and he can finally take all of these villagers out of this TC and out of being idle. Daut with a treb up to try to take these trebs down, but that castle has fallen, and it looks like Lojza is going to have an opportunity to basically beat down the front door here for Daut. We can see a significant moment is about to happen here. Let's see if it's time. Daut is looking to build a mining camp out here. He's got a couple of skirmishers here that are trying to clean up these Artabless that are really just camping out and blocking that stone. At some point, Daut will just decide to go for it. I'm not sure what he's thinking here. He must not realize that those Artabless are there. And he's going to send those villagers forward. He's going to lose a couple here before that mine even goes up. Looks like 1 villager down, 2 villagers down. Come on, Daut. Come on. You can see it. 3 down. Oh, 4. Lojza just here cleaning up 5 villagers, 6 villagers, 7 villagers, 8 down. And it's just very bad recognition from Daut at the moment. I think 11 villagers end up dying here for free, really, for taking out 6 Artabless. Looks like he might have been focusing on this side, and unfortunately he's going to take a big hit. He's still up on villagers by 8, but losing 11 villagers for free is never a good thing. Lojza is now going to start coming in the front door here with these Artabless, a couple of skirmishers. He's got some light cavalry. Those are going to cause havoc on these elite skirms. And it looks like he's content with slowly moving in. He's not going to start raiding with those light cavalry. He's just going to use them to protect his Artabless while he moves in and grabs a couple of farmers here and there. There's another one down. The trebs are not far behind, and it looks like this is going to be the old school way to win Age of Empires. Just like when you were a kid, you might have been afraid of building a big army. You'd build trebs and archers, and you would slowly but surely creep in on your opponent, trebbing down their buildings as you go and just protecting your trebs. And that looks like exactly what Lojza is going to do here. Those light cavalry are sort of made quick work of by the elite skirms, a couple of Mangudai out on the field. A treb here in defense, but probably too little too late. This TC is in jeopardy. That TC has dropped down. More light cavalry on the way, more Artabless on the way. A couple of villagers potentially going to drop another castle. Let's see what Lojza is doing. He's got 400 stone, so they're not going to be dropping a castle right away, but they are coming forward to potentially build something. This TC has fallen. These miners are now all basically mining without a mining camp to drop their supplies off at. The villagers are going down. We can see Daut is now 11 villagers behind, and it looks like he's going to have a lot of trouble wrestling control of this game back from Lojza. Lojza's come in with a castle on this side of Daut. He's now trying to treb down Daut's castle on this side of his base. Daut is going to drop another castle right in the middle, right next to that first castle, to try to protect this side. The problem is that his other side is totally messed up at this point. Those trebs seem very safe on the hill. The Artabless here still protecting them. Even if these skirmishers do come in and clean up this entire offensive, Lojza's got a 3,500 point lead at this point, and it's going to be almost impossible for Daut to come back from that. Daut's putting up more ranges. He's thinking about more skirmishers, but at some point he's going to be very strapped for resources, and that point is now. He has almost no wood, almost no food at the moment. These villagers are all walking a mile to drop off their gold, and that is GG, finally called by Daut, and well-deserved from Lojza. Just a very good game. This is my game of the month. I really enjoyed it. It seemed early on that Lojza was just throwing his archers away. You know, he was coming in one side, doing some harassment, really losing a lot of army for not very much to skirmishers, and then he would come in the other side and distract Daut. But eventually he was able to mass up enough archers. He was able to get to Imperial first, and at one point he had camped out right here in Daut's base and really just stopped all of the farming here and picked off villagers for a good minute or two of game time. That gave him the advantage. Eventually he trebbed his way in, and he gets the win. So that's my game of the month. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Maybe you have a better game that you think I should be casting instead of this one. But for now, this is the game of the month. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Tyler, and I'll see you next time.